Meet Pete, a high earner, a talented guy. Six-figure salary, nice apartment, new car, but always broke. No savings, always borrowing, always behind. He thought he had a money problem. But what Pete really had was a wisdom problem. Until one day, a conversation changed everything. It started after a pay cut. His job didn't disappear, but the bonuses did. Then, over time. Then came the unexpected expenses. Now, Pete was skipping meals to pay rent, texting friends to borrow money again. And one by one, the replies stopped coming. He was alone, drowning in bills, embarrassed, frustrated, until a quiet Sunday morning, Pete sat beside an elderly man who smiled warmly at him. But Pete didn't smile back. He was drowning in his thoughts. The elderly man noticed and started a conversation with him. Pete poured out his heart and was close to tears. The man was kind, a retired financial advisor, a believer. He listened without judgment, and then he said, "Pete, you don't need more money. You need God's wisdom about money. Can I show you what helped me?" Pete nodded, and that's when the lessons began. Key 1. Spend wisely. Proverbs 21:20. The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. Pete, wisdom doesn't mean you can't enjoy life. It just means you don't spend everything you earn. Most people eat their seeds. The wise, they plant some for the future. That week, Pete started using cash. He gave himself a weekly limit and stuck to it. Key 2. Save intentionally. Proverbs 6:6-8. Go to the ant. It stores provisions in summer. You're earning summer income, Pete, but winter always comes. Start small. Save something every week, even if it's $10. Pete opened a high-yield savings account. Slowly and consistently, the balance grew. Key 3. Avoid debt. Proverbs 22:7. The borrower is slave to the lender. Every time you borrow, Pete, you give someone else control. Debt is a trap. Start repaying it, one chain at a time. It was humbling. But with each payment, Pete felt freer. He said no to new clothes, canceled subscriptions, skipped concerts, and found peace in the quiet. Key 4. Budget with purpose. Luke 14:28. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost? Money without a plan disappears. A budget isn't control. It's freedom. You tell your money where to go, or it will tell you where you can't. For the first time in years, Pete knew where his money was going, and where it shouldn't. Key 5. Tithe and trust. Malachi 3:10. Bring the whole tithe, and see if I will not open the floodgates of heaven. God doesn't bless leftovers. He blesses obedience. Tithing isn't about money. It's about putting God first, even in lack. It didn't make sense. But somehow things began to align. More peace, more margin, more joy. 1 year later. A year passed. Pete was debt-free. He had an emergency fund. He no longer borrowed money. And he'd even started investing, with care. But the biggest change? His mindset. He wasn't chasing money anymore. He was stewarding it. Then, one Sunday, the mentor didn't show up. A week later, Pete received a letter. "Pete, I saw myself in you, and I saw what God could do in you. I don't need this money anymore, but you might. Use it to help someone else, like I helped you. Teach them what the Word says. Teach them what works." Inside the envelope, a check. Enough to start a small teaching ministry. Pete's story isn't about money. It's about wisdom, about change, about how God doesn't just rescue us from poverty. He rescues us from foolishness. You don't need more income. You need more wisdom, more trust, more surrender. The Bible isn't just for Sundays. It's a manual for life, including your finances. Tag a Pete who needs this. Save smart. Live free. Trust God.